What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. We've done a lot of build stuff recently, but there was one thing that I really wanted to highlight that I kind of missed out in yesterday's video when we were talking about kind of the new strikers meta, I guess, because let's face it, strikers is really good. It always has been, and it probably always will be. But a lot of things that popped up in my comments was the word Ninjabike backpack. Well, I thought, do you know what? I didn't include any of the stats for one reason that I already knew in my head, but it's wrong of me to assume that just because it's in my head that everybody knows this. So again, live on stream this evening, as well as giving away Division Resurgence codes, we have been doing the stats for the Ninjabike backpack, and we also threw in the Momento stats as well, because a lot of people like the Momento. Now, obviously what you've got to think about here, and I'll say some good things about these things right off the rip, is obviously they have 3 core attributes. So they have some versatility when it comes to things like that. Obviously you get a skill tier, which is good for your shield, it's good for your cooldowns. With armor, you also get a skill tier because shield scales off yellow and off blue. So you get some advantages like that. But are these advantages when running kind of a full DPS build actually worth it? In my eyes, they're actually not. I don't think they actually give you any real advantage. You know, when an enemy shoots you, you lose armor and things that quick, and the cooldown doesn't give you that much time anyway either, in that, you know, you're aiming to be the biggest DPS in the game, right? So it just doesn't really add that much. So when it comes to that, it's kind of a nice side dish, but nothing that you would actually force yourself to build the build around. So let's take a look at what I would consider the best 2 builds on the game if you didn't catch yesterday's video. This would be my recommended for anybody for your first go-to build, essentially. We'll put it on the Lexington rather than the Pestilence, but either or of these I think work really well. But any gun, any weapon of choice that you want to run will work here fairly well because of how much damage the Overdogs and Strikers gives you. These are just my favourite guns, and Lexington is best in slot as far as ARs go. But an F2000 and things like that will all work, you know, FAMAS will all work very well. Now, when I say next, what I would use for Legendary and Master and things like that, this would work absolutely fine. But you'll find that you'll be capped out on this. The stacks will be capped very easily, and you'll be doing the maximum damage output for this build at the all times. So now we want to stretch it a little bit and do a bit more damage. Well, by doing that, we can put on the Striker's chest piece, and then we can slot on the brand new Slavo unit alloys holster. And this then gives us even more legs, because essentially at this point then we've got more amplified damage to go off because we get more Strikers stacks and therefore just more damage all around. So they're the 2 best builds as of right now in this case scenario already, and I would recommend that then you take this build and you make it to your playstyle. If you want to add a blue in, if you want to do whatever you want to it, you can do, but start at the top and work your way till you feel comfortable. Obviously your expertise and things like that are also going to play into it, but when we start in, we just go for a max possible damage, and then everybody can work it down so that they can fit it to their playstyle. So first of all, what we'll do is we're going to take a look at let's have a look at the spreadsheet. Now I'm going to show you the full spreadsheet right now. So if you're looking on mobile, it might be pretty difficult, this one, but I will narrate it as well anyway, so that you get to see what we're talking about. So first of all, we're going to look at Strikers with the 2 brand new pieces. So we're going to put on the Unit Alloys Equalizer holster. We've got the unit alloys named on as well, because remember, this gives us extra rate of fire. And then at that point then we're getting, you know, a nice assault rifle damage buff as well. So we're going to put the Striker's gloves on, and then we're going to put the Ninjabike backpack on. Therefore then unlocking 3-piece brand set bonus here for some extra magazine size. Now that's not going to increase your burst DPS, but it is going to increase your sustained DPS. But it's only going to increase it by not a small amount, because we only pushed the mag up to 75. So we know we're going to get a little bit of increase in sustained damage, but it's not going to be a lot. But we are still going to unlock 4-piece Striker's Gamble, which, you know, is a lot of damage. But again, we're losing a lot of damage not running Striker's Backpack. Striker's Backpack is definitely one of the best pieces we can run in a build, and if you're going to drop it, you've definitely got to make it drop for the right reasons. So let's flip over to the spreadsheet, and this is build number 7. And what you can see here, essentially, from running the Striker's chest, so the legendary build that I talked about at the beginning, we drop a lot of damage. We drop 42% damage, which is an insane amount of damage to drop. Now, that might not be a fair comparison because that is what we would class as a legendary build. So what does it drop when it comes to our heroic build? So the one where we had the equalizer chest piece and the overdog's gloves. So you can see that one here. So the difference between this one is between the 83% and it's down to 58%. Now, my math isn't that good, but if we say 83 and we take away number 7, 58, you might have got there quicker than me. We're doing 25% less damage. So definitely not worth it. That little bit of extra sustain that you're going to get is never in a million years going to make up for losing that amount of burst damage. So I cannot recommend that build at all. And then I don't even need to go and change it, but we just used a regular unit alloys holster instead to see if that actually came out any better, because that would give us a little bit of extra crit damage. And it actually doesn't. It actually comes out about 0.6% less again. So again, not as good. But then what about if we change things around a little bit more and we slot in a Fenris piece? We're going to get reload speed and we're going to get assault rifle damage. So that sounds good. You know, an extra good 2-piece bonus. Is it going to make up for it? Again, no, it's not. It's still down in the 58s, just shy of 25%, more like 24.2% less damage. And when I say 24.2% less damage than this build right here, this build is winning all day over a Ninjabike build. So let's then talk about our good friend, the Momento, because the Momento does offer quite a few things. It offers survivability, it offers damage, it offers skill efficiency, and things like that. And we're only really going to judge this again off the raw damage output that it puts out. We're not really going to judge it off the other things. But if we, let me just show you how we run it. So we're going to run it like this here. Now, this is how we're going to run it, because we already know from the testing we did yesterday that this new unit alloys chest is generally best in slot, if not using the Striker's chest piece or going with glass cannon. So we're looking at this as a build, and the maximum stacks for this one. So this is when it's got the full 60% damage bonus. So you've maxed out collecting your tokens, and you've got the mini bonus because you've just collected a token and you're getting 10% extra, 30% extra damage there as well. And it slightly wins out. It comes in at 64.5%. So if we compared that, you know, that's 35% less than running the Striker's chest piece. Again, maybe a little bit unfair to compare it to that build, but if we compare it to the one that we were talking about, our heroic build, it's 18% less damage overall. And I really don't think the survivability that backpack is giving you is making up for 18% less damage, or it's more damage than essentially just running this build. That's going to be it for the video. I hate to poo-poo all over the Ninjabike. And I do think the Momento has its place for certain builds, but when it's coming to Strikers with these new unit alloys and with the overdogs, you are losing a lot of damage by slotting them pieces in. The brand set bonuses are definitely not making up for the loss in damage in taking them pieces off. So, you know, the Ninjabike does have its place in some skill builds. It does have its place in pistol builds for sure. I've seen it, you know, and it does have its place in some MMR builds as well. It works really well in them builds because some of our 2-piece and 3-piece brand set bonuses are very powerful for them guns. But yeah, for this, you know, for this purpose, if you're putting that in here, you are dropping a lot of damage. And, you know, this season, if you're putting the modifiers on, some of them modifiers are tough. Definitely the damage resistance from the commander and things like that. So I definitely wouldn't recommend this season slotting the Ninjabike or the Momento in if you're running in this scenario. That's going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.